Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. We're in beautiful... Drzwi zamknięte. Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. We're in beautiful sunny Spain. Just kidding, we're in Poland in the middle of the winter. It's actually so cold I need to grab my jacket. I thought it would be a nice idea to make a video about preparing your motorcycle for your first track day, in case you wanted to go this year. Welcome to my garage. My name is Mike, I'm a professional motorcycle racing instructor, and this is our reference point that I will be showing you how I would prepare it before going to the racetrack. We'll divide this video into two categories. The first will be servicing, so maintenance if you'd like to call it. The second one will be some minor tweaks that you should do before taking the bike to the racetrack. Talking about the maintenance, we should see if our bike has no leaks. Check your engine, check your cooling system, your brakes and your suspension. Now let's stop for a bit by the brakes. The first thing we should check is how much of the brake pads we've got left, because they tend to go really quick on the racetrack. Talking about the brake caliper itself, we should make sure that the pistons inside move freely, so that when you release your brakes, they go all the way back, allowing the brake pads to get out of the brake disc, because otherwise they will be braking all the time, boiling the whole system, and as a result you'll lose your brakes after a few hard brakings. Moving to the brake discs, they should tick a few boxes. First of all, we need to check the surface, if it's quite even. The second one is how thick the disc is. You can check your service manual if you don't know how thick it should be. And lastly, we should check the free play of the disc on those rivets. They can have a little play up and down like this, but they shouldn't have any play to the side. The more expensive, the more racing the disc is, the more free play it usually has, because when it gets hot, it disappears. Talking about the brake pump, make sure it works properly and it doesn't go all the way to the handlebar when you squeeze it, because it would mean the braking power is not sufficient for riding on a racetrack. And also, please don't forget to check your brake fluid. First of all, check the level of it, so pick up the bike and see how much is in there. The second thing is checking if the brake fluid is in good shape. If it looks like a Coke or a T, then it means it needs replacing. Another thing is checking it by a special device that will show how much humid is inside. If there's too much water, the brake will fade after a few brakings. One more thing about the levers: if you've got them extendable and foldable, make sure to extend them all the way, because the longer the lever is, the less force you need to use to make the bike stop. Check the bolt that holds it from folding to make sure that it doesn't fold itself quite easily, so that you don't lose brakes when going fast. And one more thing about the suspension, apart from it leaking or not, make sure to have it serviced, especially if you haven't in a long time, and set up for your weight if it's adjustable. Talking about the important things, don't forget to check your oil level when the bike is upright, but instead of having it in the middle, so between the low and high mark when riding on the street, for the racetrack it's much better to have it closer to the high mark, because of keeping the bike on higher RPMs for longer and leaning it more in the corners. By the way, don't forget about the coolant as well, if it's fresh and if there's enough. Talking about the roll gas, check if it moves freely, and the second thing is if it has any free play at all, but not too much, because if you need to open it this much before you actually open the throttle body, then you won't be able to precisely open the gas. And you can adjust it right here under this rubber. As for my taste, there is no free play at all, so I would increase it a little bit, because there is a chance it doesn't actually close the throttle body. I can kinda hear it, but it's not really good. I would increase it a little bit. If you're taking your bike to a workshop, ask them to check all the bearings, so in the frame head and in both of the wheels. And here's another thing I wanted to tell you about. As you can see, we're missing a bolt here. It's wise to check all the bike's bolts if they are tightened enough. Don't forget to check your chain and sprockets. First of all, look for any broken links. Secondly, you can grab it here and try pulling it away. If it goes really far, then it means it's worn out. Also, it would be nice to clean the chain and lubricate it. And don't forget to take off this cover and see the front sprocket, because it can be loose. Make sure your battery is in good condition. Charge it, or if it's really bad, change it before you go. Make sure your tires are well in terms of wear, whether they are not old and if they are not square in the middle. Your normal road tires are perfectly good for the racetrack. All we have to do is adjust the tire pressure. But we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay, now the service thing is done, now let's get to the mods. The first thing we should do is remove the mirrors. You don't actually need them for the racetrack. You should be concentrated what's in front of you, not what's behind. Take off all of your bags. Don't let them drag more air and restrict your moves. Also make sure to take off all of the mounts that go around the bike, so that when you fall off the bike or someone collides into you, you don't get trapped with your arm or leg going to the inside. A typical road tire should be at 1.8 bar when cold at rear and 2.2 bar on the front, measured when cold. About crash protection, if you've got crash pads like this one, they are perfectly fine. But if you've got some kind of cage around the engine, you should remove it because you'll be scrubbing it on the asphalt. And if you've got those factory lean limiters on your pegs, you should unscrew them, because especially on a bike like this one, so a naked bike that has overall low height of the rear sets, you'll be scrubbing those on the asphalt all the time. Also, please take off your license plate. You don't need it for the racetrack and it can hurt somebody if it goes flying. Sometimes you will hear about taping your headlight. I don't know if it's still required by anyone, but if yes, make sure to use a paper tape like this one, because otherwise you won't be able to take it off, because it will melt to the lamp. It's from the times when bikes had lamps made of glass, so that when you crashed it stayed in one piece. Thanks for watching till the end. I hope you've learned something new, and if you really like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Bye.